Panera Bread in California circuses. This is a Wall Street Journal story with that title, by the way. Panera Bread in California circuses. California's new $20 fast food minimum wage set to take effect in April raised eyebrows due to its peculiar exemption of bakeries, allegedly benefiting Panera Bread. Governor Newsom's ties to Greg Flynn, a Panera franchise owner and campaign donor, have sparked controversy. Flynn donated $100,000 to Newsom in 2021 and $65,000 for his reelection, despite claims of innocence from both Newsom and Flynn. The involvement of political donors in crafting legislation remains suspicious. The Service Employment International Union, SEIU, opposed broad exemptions but accepted a limited one for bakeries existed before September 15, 2023. Flynn denies requesting this exemption and claims to have been surprised by its inclusion in a final legislation. Oh, surprise. That's so great. By the way, do you know what this means? Minimum wage for restaurants, companies, fast food joints, I believe it's with 100 employees or more. If you have 100 employees or more, the minimum wage is officially $20 an hour, Vinny.
How are they going to make their money then?
Oh, they're going to make their money. You know how they're going to make their money?
Charge the customers
That's all
more?
they're going to do. Whatever
great.
the food was, is just more expensive.
Yeah.
So if before the minimum wage was $10 or $15, now you're going to make it $20. $5 on $15 is what? 33%. If something you were going to order steak or chicken at Cheesecake Factory, whatever kind of a food you're going to order from them, bill was going to be $50. The bill is officially $65.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to be doing. Okay, and meanwhile, more and more people will be leaving California. But this Panera Bread guy that's giving money to Newsom is now sitting there, can pay people whatever they want, not the $20, probably the $15 money, and still save that third on the cost. Tom, what's your reaction when you hear a story like this?
Well, I'm not surprised by what Nikki Haley's doing here, because she got money from Boeing, and so she gave Boeing some sweet deal. Wait, I'm sorry.
Wrong story,
I'm sorry,
Tom.
wrong. This is Newsom and Flynn. I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised with what Newsom is doing here. They gave him money to his campaign, and so now he's returning the favor. This is why big donors give, ladies and gentlemen. They do it because they want favors. They want something for their industry or something that's going to help them. I'm not surprised here. I'm surprised we don't see more stories like it exposing this graft to the light of day.
By the way, guess what the job of a guy like him is? So in here, let's go through who is the most responsible for this right here, from the highest to the least. Is it the billionaire, the millionaire, the guy that's giving him money? Is it him or is it Newsom?
100% Newsom, by the way. That's his job. If I'm that guy, dude, I'm doing the exact same thing, just like the Kellogg cereal guy. We already know Gavin Newsom's price, if this is actually what happened. And the number is exactly $164,000 and 80 cents, apparently, because that's how much he gave him, right? So if this is what happened, Gavin Newsom has a price. Is anybody surprised by that? Why are you excluding bakeries? What's the deal with that, right? So what's the deal? So it just further proves, as we go slippery slope here, minimum wage is just an absolute scam. So all ideas start out in a good way, the Industrial Revolution, the starting labor unions. All right, the workers' rights, better conditions. I get it, but now it's just they're revealing their hand. Like what was the one congresswoman in California that we talked about calling for a $50 minimum wage?
Yeah.
It's insane.
The lady in Oakland, yeah.
It's insane, and it's just going to go up and up and up and up. And so there's two ways to have more money in your life, right? You can either make more or spend less. And there's two ways to basically combat minimum wage. You could charge the customer more, or option B, the Joe Biden approach, it's shrinkflation. You go to get a sandwich, which is usually 12 inches. Here's your 7-inch sandwich, Vinny.
Yeah, good luck.
That you're paying the same price for. Yeah, that's the lady right there. It's just all ludicrous.
Well,
So-
this
Pat was asking whose fault it was. And the answer is this businessman did not break any laws.
No.
The rules of the game is that you are free to donate to people. Hey, I'd love to see you win this election. I think we need more of this and less of that. This legislation would help us. please remember me and remember the plight of my industry because this would help my industry. Here's $100,000. That's legal. That's the way this works. So I think it's the broken system that is at fault because this entrepreneur, this business owner did what's legal and inbounds. And,
Tom, was Citizens United in 2010, whatever it was that only for federal elections or was that for state elections as well?
I'm not familiar with the waterfall effect on it, but Citizens United basically gave, corporations unlimited ceilings on donations. Right. And I think for you and I, Rob, you could look this up. I think for each presidential primary and presidential election, I think you and I are capped out at about like a citizen at like $5,000 or something like that per candidate.
And by the way, just so you guys know, this Greg Flynn guy, the way it sounds like, it's like, yeah, he just owns a couple franchises. Greg Flynn is the biggest franchise owner of restaurants worldwide.
Oh, gotcha.
So just so you know, this is not some small-time guy. Rob, can you go up to this and just kind of see who it is? Type in Greg Flynn net worth. Just type in Greg Flynn net worth, and then go to the story of the first one right there. 7 franchise billionaires you should know. That's from a year ago. Okay, zoom in. First one is who? Zoom in. Greg Flynn.
There we go.
Greg Flynn is a founder and CEO of the largest franchise operator in the world, Flynn Restaurant Group and Flynn Properties. He started his franchising journey in 1999 when he purchased Applebee's franchise. Over the years, he has grown to multi-unit franchisee Brad Flynn Restaurant Group into a wildly successful operation. The brand owns and operates approximately 2,400 Applebee's, Taco Bell's, Arby's, Wendy's, Pizza Huts, and Panera, generating roughly $4 billion in sales. In 2012, Flynn became the first American franchisee to reach the $1 billion mark as an enterprise. The Flynn Restaurant Group is worth an estimated $2 billion.
Well, Pat, let me ask you this. I want you to turn on your 1.8 GPA math hat right quick. So anytime you're making these types of political donations, the calculation is what's the ROI? Tell me what the ROI would be for $164,000 versus $2 billion in sales.
Well, then do this.
How much does that benefit the company?
Flynn Restaurant Group, how many restaurants they have in California? Right. Flynn Restaurant Group, restaurants owned in California. So if we go Flynn Restaurant Groups owned in California, 6 brands. So if you see how many they own in California, all you have to do is, they're in 42 states. 2,400
restaurants.
Well, how many in California?
And employ 7,300 people.
73,000 people. So how many employees does this group have? Maybe we need to ask the question.
Rob punched in a little bit.
Flynn Restaurant Group employees in California. There you go. Let's see how many they got, because the number has to be a reasonable number, including some. How many? 30,000 of the employees. It's given the breakdown of what their demos are. But all you have to do is, if these guys got 73,000 employees worldwide, you have to assume California is probably one of their biggest ones. Okay. Now, let's just say in California, they have, I don't know, let's say it's 10,000 employees. Pick the 10,000 employees. Of the 10,000 employees, let's say 20% of them are minimum wage employees. Okay. So let's take 20%, which is what?
Probably more than that, but I'm with you.
I'm just giving a number here. Let's just say 20%. I agree. But let's say 25%.
Sure.
25% of 10,000 employees is 2,500 employees. 2,500 employees times 5 times 40 times 52, it's a $26 million savings.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So do you think it was worth that $160?
No, Pat just did. It took $5 off their wage and backed into it.
So $26 million savings, which means, and by the way, that's at 10,000 in California, of which 25% are getting paid minimum wage. If it's 20,000, 50%, the number could be easily $100 million. So they're saving tens of millions of dollars.
Right. So this is why we say, well, why would someone donate to a political party or a candidate? And, this is a wild amount of money. But, scratch my back and I'll... funny thing about my back, Vinny, but for $164,000, whatever it is,
sale, if the vote is for sale, which it is in the state of California, you get opportunity. And by the way, this is not just California. He just happens to be one of the best ones in the country to do it.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.